Hello, Sovereign Jane Jenkins here. I'm the author of P Policy, which is about setting boundaries and maintaining self respect. It's a self help book to elevate the consciousness of young women in society, but it can help a man too if he want to read something and know something about what a woman goes through in a coming of age. So, there you go. So, today I want to talk about the importance of knowing the source of your emotions. Okay? And some people need a therapist to go through this or a psychologist, but some people just need a journal to go through this. And I was one of those people, I had a journal and I had to talk myself through a lot of issues that I was having as a child. And through that experience, that's when I learned that everything that I was feeling and I was experiencing, it did not start with me. And that gave me so much clarity and it freed me from the mental bondage of blaming myself for the things that happened in my childhood because it wasn't my fault. And there was a lot of work to be done, a lot of self work, a lot of mental work. And I did not begin to understand that until I became an adult. Because when I went through my first relationship and the breakup, I was feeling 1,000 emotions at once to where it was like an explosion. And I was feeling the things that happened with my father, my first father, my stepfather, who left me when I was in my, I want to say 13th year as a woman, as a young lady, as a preteen. And then I ended up experiencing the fear of abandonment that came with that. And then finding out who my real father was at the same time, I ended up feeling a lot of sadness because now I felt like my life was being taken over by a dictator. Unfortunately, my biological father, he knew how to provide, but he did not know how to be a father. He was not a nurturer. He was not someone that knew how to raise children because he was not truly raised from my knowledge. So going through that and writing that down and experiencing that and taking everybody's points of view in, it made me realize that the things that I was experiencing at the time, I should not be embarrassed about because for a long time I was embarrassed. For a long time, I did not know how to cope with the fact that I lost control. And my actions was a reflection of who I am in my core, like in my internal posture. And I literally did something that was so far out of character, but I did not realize until later on, like recently, I was pushed to do that. And that's what happens when you get in a relationship with someone who is manipulating you and making you feel like you're going crazy and that you should not be worried about something. But that is the exact thing that you should be worried about. You should get gone immediately, okay? People will try to take you for a fool if you let them. They'll try to play on your emotions, especially if they know that you have history and trauma in your past. They play off that trauma and make you think that you need them in order to go on in this life, and you become codependent, not even realizing that you're actually becoming addicted to this person because they're in your life and you're seeing it on a day-to-day basis, and you're not realizing how quick you're forming a bond. And that bond is oftentimes very hard to break. That's like trying to stop smoking crack or trying to stop sniffing cocaine or trying to stop shooting up because it's triggering that dopamine in your brain. And oftentimes, especially when you're having relations, you're also getting that serotonin and other hormones that come into play. So at the same time, you have to realize that the longer that you stay in an unhealthy relationship, the harder it is to get out, unless something explosive happens. But you need knowledge of the past in order to figure that out for the present. And you need to know your triggers and your traumas. If you don't know the things that are triggering you from your past, you're going to see that come up again and again when things come to a head in your relationship. And you start having these feelings, you start having these unexplained emotions, you start having these fears, these doubts. And this person is continuously weaving a web of trickery and foolishness around your face, and you're not seeing through because it's so deep. You're in too deep at that point. And you have to literally take it upon yourself to go do some digging and go a little deeper. Go a little deeper in your past. Go deeper into your childhood to figure out, why am I reacting this way? Why am I feeling this way? Give yourself permission to go a little deeper. Do not feel guilty about it. Do not feel toxic for going deeper because you don't know what's going to come out the closet once you make that journey. And sometimes what comes out frees you from the mental bondage that you were experiencing and thinking you were going crazy, but you're not. You are a result of things that happened to you while you were young. You are a direct result of that. That's called cognitive bias. You're influenced through the lens that of your experiences that you were experiencing when you were a child, all the way up to now. You are a conglomerate of experiences. So you're going to react to different things in different scenarios based off how you were raised. And it is up to you to dictate how you control those emotions. And some people say you cannot control your emotions, but I disagree. You may not be able to control what triggers at one point and another, but you can control your reaction and your attitude. Those are two things you always have control over. And not letting anyone trigger you to the point where you're losing control of your internal posture and your internal feelings, and letting that demon, that demonic spiritual internal presence out. Because everybody has a dark side. We all have a dark side, but the question is, how well can you control that dark side? How well can you keep the vice around its center, to not let it out, even though people are calling it out? But that's the thing. People literally tap on levers to call out the worst parts of you, and then turn around and be surprised when that other side comes out. And then they want to blame you for your reactions. And the crazy part is, oftentimes these people are the devils. Your internal demon came out because they're the devil. They've been saying seances and literally hypnotic rhythms and trying to get you to bring out the other side in order to make you docile and conform to what they want, because they've been manipulating you the whole time. That is witchcraft in a way, because they know what they're doing. They're saying certain things. I remember when my ex cheated on me and he ended up coming back and telling me, my family think you're to blame. So what? Okay. Oh, okay. I'm to blame for you messing up the relationship. So you know what my response is? I don't care. Your family's crazy. So that sounds about right. Like, people try to throw out different things to throw you off your path, even though you know you're in the right, to make you think that you were in the wrong. And they try to play that game with you, when in reality, they were in the wrong all the time. They just hoping you are not aware enough and not clear enough to understand that they were the ones in the wrong. So they try to best you. They try to one-up you by throwing out different facts, different figures, and trying to bring their family into it, when at the end of the day, it's about them disrespecting you, trying you, getting you wrapped up into a situation where you are uncomfortable to be in from the very beginning. And that's how you knew, and you know that you weren't supposed to be in it from the beginning, from the get-go. And oftentimes these situations happen at the right time to make sure that you can never go back. And that's what happened to me. Literally, God caught me by the edges, the edges, and drug me outside of that relationship. Kicking and screaming, sad, not knowing who I was. Like, who is Janika today who's not the virgin? Who is Janika today who's not in a relationship? I don't know. I'm at a complete standstill because this is my first relationship. Some people can call it toxic, but you can call it whatever you want. The truth is, I took the journey, I did the work, and I am here today because of that. And this book is the journey. This is my magnum opus. If you're interested, it is on Amazon, Kindle, and other online platforms. And volume 2 will be released soon, guys. So check it out. As always, love always, Sovereign Jane Jenkins. Peace.